This is Orlando Sentinel Now.
Hello, it's Tuesday, December 14th. Rich Pope here with Caroline Catherman and Scott Maxwell. And today we're talking about a teacher shortage here in Florida. It's gotten pretty severe and it doesn't look like it's getting better. Also, we're going to look at the Omicron variant found in wastewater here in the region. We'll find out what that means. But we're going to start here with Caroline Catherman, and we're going to touch on that subject. The Omicron variant has been found in wastewater here in Orange County and Seminole County. What does this mean for the region right now?
In Orange County, the test is sort of preliminary, so we're going to need to do a little bit more to understand if Omicron is spreading within the county. But in the Seminole County sample, this is confirmed, and it's about 8 to 10% of the people with COVID-19 who were sick on last Thursday. That's when the sample was taken. 8 to 10% have the Omicron variant. So in terms of the region, they already thought Omicron was spreading here, but this is confirmation that people should go out and get vaccinated. Vaccinations do work, at least some, against the new variant.
Yeah, this wastewater testing, nothing exactly new. It seems like they've been doing this throughout the pandemic to get a snapshot here in the area. What exactly goes into this?
Yeah, they've been doing this since, I think the beginning of 2021, at least for Orange County, or mid 2021. So essentially what happens is, when people go to the bathroom, they shed some remnants of COVID-19 if they have it. And, at the Altamont Springs plant, for instance, tons of cities in Orange and Seminole, all their water flows to the Altamont Springs plant. And they are able to sample some of the sewage that is flowing into their plant and take it to a molecular analysis lab. And they are able to find out the gene sequence of that COVID-19 sample and then link it to a database which has all the gene sequences for all the variants. So they're able to figure out as well, the proportion of each COVID-19 sample, how much each variant makes up the proportion. So that's how they're able to come to the 8 to 10% number for Omicron.
Well, it's interesting, as you mentioned, a lot of cities go into that one, site, so they can't say it actually came from this actual city or where it is spreading in the community.
They can't. Yeah. And that's an important distinction. It might not even be in Altamont Springs. It, could have come from somewhere else, even though the plant's there.
Tell me, what variant right now has the main control of the area as far as COVID-19 right now?
As far as we know, it's Delta. People who are tested for variants who have COVID-19, it's coming back Delta. Delta's the majority of the variant in our wastewater. However, we're seeing in some other countries like the UK, Omicron is quickly on its way to becoming the dominant variant.
Right. What does this mean for the community when they find something like this? Any changes in how they actually go about fighting back against it?
Health leaders have suspected that Omicron has been in the community. I mean, basically, since it was found in Georgia, it was sort of a no-brainer that it would have found its way here too, as it popped up in more U.S. states. So they sort of about a week ago took some action where, at least in Seminole, they decided to extend the county-run vaccination sites. Testing was extended about a month ago. So in terms of actions taken, it seems like vaccination sites mainly is their primary way of fighting this.
All right. Well, you can read about more on orlandosentinel.com right now and updates throughout the day and the week. Appreciate that one. Moving here to Scott Maxwell. So Scott Maxwell, Florida is dealing with a severe teacher shortage, and it doesn't seem to be getting better. What is the problem?
Yeah, we have been writing about this for a number of years, but it appears to be getting a new level of severe. Leslie Postal, our education reporter, had a good story about it this past Sunday. And what she talked about was 5,000 vacancies in the state. And if you just say that number quickly, it may not sound like much, but my goodness, when you start to consider that every one of those teachers is in charge of 20 to 100 to 200 kids, that's a lot of people impacted. The Lake County District normally has 5 to 10 teacher openings right now. Right now it has 50. Seminole County has 81. Orange has 190. You can look a step further and see that people don't want to go to college to be teachers anymore. Enrollment is down at UCF and UF. But the thing that struck me was Leslie's story was really pathetic. Not her story. It was well written, of course. The situation was pathetic because it was focusing on how Florida can't even find enough subs. There was substitute teachers. There was an anecdote about school districts begging for nearly 80-year-old substitutes to come in. This strikes me as like trying to focus about worrying about having enough duct tape to fix the Titanic after it's hit an iceberg. This is not the real problem, but that's how desperate things have gotten in Florida.
Yeah, you spoke with some teachers, and I'm guessing they're not going to say their job is easy.
No, in fact, I put out a call to talk to teachers, current and former, about why they think people are fleeing this profession. And this was on a Saturday morning. And I think I heard from 100 teachers within a matter of hours. And there are a lot of things. Well, some of it is stuff you know about, and it's salary. The average salary, according to the NEA, we rank 49th. And per student funding, we rank 43rd. In the country. Politicians may tell you they care about education. For the most part, or for a large part, they're just full of it. Their actions do not back that up. But it's not just the money. Teachers talked about being bogged down with paperwork. They talk about a lack of respect, not just from parents, some of whom are like storming school board meetings and calling them child abusers for following CDC rules on masks, but also from politicians. Ron DeSantis, our governor's education commissioner, Richard Corcoran, has called public schools failure factories. He's beat on teachers like punching bags. That's the guy who's in charge of public education in the state. They talk about class sizes that are too big, despite a constitutional amendment that we're supposed to keep them small. Overall, a lot of work for relatively low pay and little respect.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Sentinel has written on this many years. It seems like it's not exactly a new problem. Actually, Governor DeSantis mentioned in his budget recommendations coming for next year that he would hike the pay for teachers. Obviously, this is a recommendation, but as you mentioned too, why does it seem like the problem continues to compound when everyone knows it's a problem? Everyone knows that teachers are beat down every day. It just seems like, why would this continue on?
Yeah, it seems to be a case of yap, 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 and no act, act, act. The governor has done some things, and I've written even a column praising him for starting pay for new teachers. In fact, I think we're up to 38th. So what's the cheer for that? Yay, we're 12th from the bottom, when it comes to for new teachers. But overall, they're bad. And I'm focused in the piece I'm writing on two particular teachers that I found particularly compelling. One was a staff sergeant who had a 20-year career in the military. And he went to school for 4 years and said he felt a calling because he wanted to be a teacher. He only lasted 2 years in Florida schools. And then he said, I'm getting the hell out of this. They don't pay you enough. They don't give you respect for any of this stuff. I dare submit that this is a guy who, is sort of a tough guy. He was in Kosovo and stationed everywhere else. And he said, I'm getting out. And another had been a teacher for 18 years. And she just retired 2 months ago or 3 months ago in August. And she said, it's just, it's too much stress. It's too much bureaucracy. And she's now working for a defense contractor and making 40% more money with a lot less headaches.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing too, is like COVID pretty much threw a wrench in this even further. It was already bad, and it seems like that has even taken it to another level.
It is. I think COVID has prompted a lot of people to reevaluate their sort of life choices, especially when it comes to professions. That's why we're finding a lot of people fleeing low-paid jobs, and we're seeing that in the service sector. But I think that translates over to teachers. I mean, there are teachers who have college degrees and have been in the business for 18 or 20 years, and they're still making only maybe $10,000 more than they made when they started. And they're saying, I love the kids, and that's what almost all the teachers say. And they say they love the parents, but boy, this profession and this state does not love me back.
All right. Well, you can read Scott's column shortly on OrlandoSentinel.com. He's still working on that one, so you're getting a preview. But we're going to go ahead and call it quits today. Want to go ahead and point out, become a subscriber. Go to OrlandoSentinel.com/subscribe and support our work. We always do appreciate that. But we're going to go ahead and call it quits. Until next time, I'm Rich, Scott, and Carolyn. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you soon.
Watch Orlando Sentinel Now live every weekday at noon on our Facebook page and on OrlandoSentinel.com.